I just can't see it. And I think a lot of people have their hopes pinned on this November election. But I got news for you, folks. We've been disappointed before. We'll be disappointed this time, too. It's going to be the same old story.
I got news for a lot of people, not including, I'm sure our guest and most of the members in our listening audience know this already, but our elected officials aren't elected, they're appointed. This election that takes place is a sham. It's an illusion. They've got voting machines that are computerized. Somebody had to program them. They're done by Diebold. Diebold come back out in, 2004 and said that they will make sure that the president, that the candidate that they want become president gets to be president. When you have somebody that makes the machines, the programming, and all that other jive come out and said that they're going to do what it takes to make sure that their man gets in that office, you have to question that. And nobody outside of the patriot community stood up and questioned it. I'm sorry for my little rant, but, people got to wake up, folks. The election that you have in this country, they're appointed long before that you go pull that lever, okay? It's called a Bilderberg meeting. It happens every year in the spring all around the world where all the elites get together. Obama did it. Hillary Clinton did it. William Jefferson Clinton did it. Both Bushes did it. They all did it, and they all went in and they got to put to a vote who was going to head up this great nation. And the guy that actually got the okay from all the world corporates got to sit in the big chair. And you went to the voting poll, pushed the button, pulled the lever, did whatever it was you needed to do for the candidate that you thought you wanted to vote for, and then walked out thinking that your candidate won. How do you know that? They no longer have a paper trail.
Yep, that's true. I
want to tell a Clinton story.
By all means.
Mena, Arkansas. Mena, Arkansas is a little town for the old folks. Lum and Abner radio program. Lum and Abner came from Mena, Arkansas. You have to be 65 years old to know what I'm talking about. Bill Clinton was governor at the time, and Hillary, and the CIA was bringing drugs and dropping them in Mena at an area around the Mena airport. That's where the two little boys were killed, the two 15-year-old boys, some of the first of the assassinations around Clinton, killed because they were at the wrong place and they saw the drug drops out of aircraft. A short time after that, the CIA moved into Mena Airport and brought an operation they called Rich Mountain Aviation, and they set up a aviation repair depot for commercial airliners and large aircraft. Well, the drugs continue to come in as the CIA brought aircraft in from all over the world to be repaired and refurbished at the airport. Well, Clinton protected all of that, and that's where Clintons got a lot of their early cocaine. It was flowing so fast and such large amounts that it was said to be like truckloads of it. And some of the descriptions of the Clintons' parties talked about cocaine flowing like water, and that's where it came from. The CIA was bringing it into the Mena airport. Everybody knew about it. Some of the state law enforcement people started going after it, and they got in terrible trouble. And that's where people started dying. It was upwards to 100 people eventually died mysteriously under all of that and during the Clinton years. But there's story after story after story about Mena, the Clintons, and what happened to all of the people that died. Planes crashed, planes blew up, cars wrecked, people shot to death. Any number of people committed suicide in mysterious ways. Clinton, the president, and he controlled our destiny. And Hillary's still doing it.
Yeah,
it's just terrible.
It's funny, have you ever heard of there was a card game that came out in about 1995 called the Illuminati is what it's called, but it's a like one of those fantasy card games akin to, say, like Dungeons and Dragons, I guess you could. That's the best thing I could say. But in my research, I found some pretty chilling things. Some graphics on the cards of, say, the World Trade Center being destroyed. In the same fashion, if you take a look at the picture, one of the buildings has an explosion up, on the upper floors, and the building is collapsing. It's very, very interesting to see. But there are many depictions of events. One card is a oil spill, and in that card there's a picture of an oil-covered pelican. And we all know that pelicans, a lot of them are indigenous to the Gulf area, and it's a card that they use to destroy a coastal area in the game. And it's just it's funny to me, Griff, because we hear the term conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. I know a lot of people that I try to talk to, and a lot of times I get nowhere. It's like running into a brick wall. Oh yeah, you heard that on the internet, and all the conspiracy boy. That's what I hear. But I mean, what do you think? Do you think there's anything wrong with the term conspiracy?
No, it's a perfectly good word. There's been hundreds of conspiracies down through history. All of them have been valid. There was a conspiracy to kill Lincoln. There was a conspiracy to kill Kennedy. There's been hundreds of conspiracies. I don't know why people recoil at the mention of the word.
Right, and me either. But apparently, we live in so much of a, and I say the collective we, not my valued listeners here tonight, but I will say that people have been trained over generations to think inside this box, and that's the way it is, and believe what we tell you, and they basically go to what I like to call the public trough, and that's where they get their knowledge from, is from the trough. Public schools are the same way. When they take your kids to when you send your kids to public school, you're pretty much stamping USDA on their rear ends and sending them through, just like cattle. And they lose their ability to think for themselves. Now, does that mean every child is going to come out of public school and not be able to think for themselves? Absolutely not. But I will say this, that you are more apt to think a lot freer when you pull yourself out of that type of situation or scenario. And we're starting to see that, Griff. I see a lot more people that are coming to the realization that perhaps homeschooling your children is a better way of doing things. I know it is for my kids, or even sending them to private school if you have the resources. But I have faith that there is going to be a sort of awakening. I just don't think it's going to be in time. Would you say that? That is? Well, how do you feel about that comment that I just made?
I think our society is in a state of collapse. It's coming at us from all different angles. The Gulf states are collapsing. The people are going to be put in harm's way, great jeopardy. The monetary system is collapsing. There's no answer there's no way to support the monetary system. If the monetary system collapses, the food collapses, the clothing collapses, everything collapses. The infrastructure of the United States collapses, and what's left? That is the only thing that will save us. If that happens, the government collapses. There'll be no need for a federal government. There'll be no mechanism left for them to dictate to the people or to control the people. Without the monetary system, there is no control over the people, and that will be a blessing for the people. That will take the last chain from around our neck. There'll be no allegiance to the federal government. The states will be concerned with managing the people around them. The federal government will have no place, and I believe we're heading in that direction. I pray that we are in that respect, to get the government off our back. The government will lose control of the military if there's no money to pay the military. if there's no money to buy the arms or the